Well, look at
They
it this way,
fight
they're trying
so
to appeal to the
bitterly.
same general group of voters, which means their policies are relatively similar. So
Yeah.
if you get someone outside of that,
Yeah,
And
other
They tear them
There's
down because
there's
they're
really
such,
not an in between anymore either.
No,
Like
well,
it's either like I'm sorry, but it's either you either have the corporate America could care less, burn down a forest just for fun, or tie yourself to a tree and protest. Like there's not a middle candidate
Yeah.
a lot anymore.
And I mean, sometimes there is, but they're like regional things. Like, like someone, you know, over, and there'll be like one person who's sort of in between over in like California, but they won't really, you know, reach far beyond that because they don't have like the powerful parties backing them up. And there'll like be another sort of middling guy somewhere over here, like the East Coast, but you know, like they don't get the same popularity outside of their little regions.
because they can't afford to.
Yeah.
as I said, the two biggest parties got the most money. And no other party can get in there because they have so much control over everything that's really going on. No one else can squeeze in there and be like, hey, look at us, and then other people look at them. It just doesn't happen.
I think the biggest problem with voters is they want somebody who has like the same values as them. And so if there's a candidate who has one value difference than them, they're like, okay, let's just trash them, you know. And what you need to realize is there's never going to be a presidential candidate who is going to be exactly like you. Otherwise, everybody would be checking the other box on the presidential candidate voting booth. So they really, I think you just need to come down to what are your main values, what do you want in a president, what do you think this person's going to do for this country, instead of, oh my gosh, this person is like agnostic or whatever, they're out, or something like that. For me, that would be a big problem because I am very strong in my faith, but I mean, for you as yourself, you need to figure out what are your main values and see if that person matches up.
That people don't like to go outside of their own, their party. Like for instance, if you say, I am a Republican, so you're gonna vote Republican, no matter what. Even if you don't agree with half the things that the candidate's saying, you will not, like people won't leave their party whatsoever.
Not
Yeah.
necessarily.
Or the,
But
other than,
some people are
there's
so
the
strong
exception
with
with,
Guys,
there's the
guys,
exception with the Obama election, because he won by a landslide, it was like 70%.
It was
But
almost 70.
that was just because people were in like drastic need at the time, like everything was collapsing, and at that point, they finally opened their eyes and decided to go outside their party. But throughout history, you notice that people won't do that.
Well, I think it's weird to look at Obama that way because I think a good reason he was, you know, elected wasn't necessarily because people were like, oh, I'm not in his party, but he has these policies that I agree with. It was because they were like, we need something different. I want to go out of my box, and this man is being represented as everything different we need. Like, yeah, he was, you know, black, and we want the first black president, and he's young, and he's in with the young kids. I mean, I'm not necessarily sure that it's showing that we're changing. I mean, maybe that we want to change, we want to do different things, but I mean, we're easily manipulated.
I don't think that the 20% that swung in his favor necessarily had a total paradigm shift within their, well, you know what, actually, tax and spend liberal now. They went with what they had.
Atheist is usually, it isn't always true, but a lot of people associate an atheist being very pessimistic. Like, oh, if you don't believe in God, you don't believe in heaven, well, then you're just being like a pessimist.
I definitely disagree with that. I mean,
I'm just saying some
I agree with
people.
you, but I disagree with those
Well,
other
yeah,
people.
disagree with that. Yes.
Okay.
Like, just some people do that, and that's why.
I understand what you mean. Atheism is a taboo. It's a dirty word.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say, well, the two questions that they're answering is there a God? And if you answer, I don't know, you're agnostic. And then if the question is phrased, do you believe in God? And you're to say no, you're an atheist. You could be both agnostic and atheist.
Why is atheist such a dirty word?
It's an older word. It's kind of taken
Is
on
it
a
back
very
from
negative
what?
connotation.
Okay. Yeah.
It's like people tend to associate atheism with like lack of morals. They're like, you don't
Yeah.
believe in God, so you don't believe in being a good person. I mean, which isn't right, but I mean, it's
Just the way it
but,
is.
It's
yeah,
just how the people.
it's like an education about it.
It's like if someone says they're atheist, it's almost like they're calling them Satanists. That's what they think of them as.
Whoa, put your pants
Like,
back on.
like
there,
when someone
Satan.
says I'm atheist, like the common thing is to think like, oh, well then you believe in the devil or something, but it's not. It's more of a misconception than the reality of what it actually is.
Because the majority of the population of the United States follow some sort of religion, so.
Yeah.
So
that's
to
why
say
they
that
would-
you're not in that means that you're like the Antichrist.
They would prefer to back someone who has some sort of religion rather than someone who does
You
not.
can relate to them better. And that's why a lot of people vote for someone they feel they can relate to. It gets those like personal values.
I think it's more of a fear than more than relating. I think it's more of a fear of having something different.
Oh yeah,
Because that's a lot of what our society has come to.
One last time to atheists so that we can move on up the list. I guess it'll just be arbitrarily what we do. Relating to what Emily was saying, we just have to turn it up. You had said that you would kind of want to vote for someone who shares similar values, and I think that's right on the money. As much as, you know, I'd love to just say hyperbolically that people are completely afraid of atheists and they hate them and everyone wants them to die. And there are a lot of people who are very scared of atheists, but I think more than that, it's also, if you look at the question, if your party nominated a generally well-qualified person for president who happened to be, I think the people who were answering this could not get over the fact that they were an atheist, not because they were afraid that they were going to, you know, burn their children at the stake, but because they associate atheism with morals that are not in keeping with the Republican Party.
But okay, so if you're gonna say, all right, Emily, if a presidential candidate is an atheist, but on every other issue you're right with him.
Let's say they're a pro-life atheist.
Yeah, if he was
pro-life
like I
atheist.
can't just like judge the president
Right.
because he's an atheist. If he, you know, he's doing things that are good for our country, you know, if he stands for things, you know, that are good, I'm not gonna not just vote for him. If he's the better candidate, I'm gonna vote for him. You know, whoever the better candidate is, I'm gonna vote for that, whether they happen to be an atheist or not. But
I was gonna say,
No, it was just because you're the only one that said anything about it, so I just wanted to ask.
43% would not vote for a homosexual. There's some people who say some terrible things about gay people. There's some people who say who would be nervous about a gay president just because they're gay. But I think it's because they're associated with morals that again are not in keeping with their party.
It just to show you like how our perception of people in the voting for presidential candidates have differed. In the 1970s, I think it said for homosexuality, it was like 26% or something like
Would
that.
it
say yes or say no?
That said
Would
yes.
say yes. Yeah.
And then they didn't even ask in like 1937. Like it was a completely unacceptable non-issue then.
Would you vote for a child molester?
Pretty much
It's kind of the same.
how it was viewed then, yeah.
Yeah. If Mitt Romney came out and said, because let's be honest, it'll be Mitt Romney. Herman Cain, really?
Actually, as a Mormon, I highly doubt he would come out and say that. That would be completely against his beliefs.
that would be completely
He would
against-
be sent to the inferno.
Yeah. But if he said, hey, I'm a liberal Mormon, you know, I'm hip, I'm happening.
He would drop the last name.
Yeah.
That's it.
But no, if he came out and said during the middle of the election, you know what, I'm gay, I should have been more forthright about this. Do you think that a significant enough, let's say that people were more likely to vote for the Republican candidate, and they were going to win over Obama, would his coming out as gay cost them the election?
Yes.
Yes, completely.
That's
What do you think,
But
Eric?
someone would think he's so truthful that he came out to like say that. So do you think his morals are very good because he came out very truthful and was still vote for him?
The only problem that I see with that would be that a lot of people would think, then why didn't he come out with this the moment he
So
started the
let's
election,
erase
not
that.
waited through? You know,
Let's
that's the
say
thing I think.
let's say that through some bizarre circumstances, we know Mitt Romney's gay, and we're just like, you know what, fine, he gets nominated.
Yeah.
Would that still cost him the election?
Yes.
There's such a witch.